What's up, HyperFast Nation? Welcome to this episode of the podcast where today you get to hear from me and me alone. This is a new type of format we are doing. We've done about 400 episodes where I've interviewed top real estate agents, investors, and business leaders, and given our listeners a chance to hear their stories and learn from them. Well, we're going to be keeping that format. That's not going away, but we're mixing in this new one where I will be bringing you some of the latest and greatest real estate strategies and tips and things that you can implement today in your business. And I'll be bringing on other people for these as well, so it won't just be me, but we're going to kick it off with 9 ways to generate leads in a shifting market. And we're breaking this into 3 different episodes, so today we're going to cover the first 3. Stand by. All right, welcome to part 1 in this 3-part series on 9 ways to generate leads in a shifting market. This is an adaptation, I guess, of a presentation I gave to a group of 30 or 40 real estate agents a few weeks ago in Pennsylvania. So I'm happy to be bringing this now to the podcast and YouTube audience because the market is shifting. I think real estate agents hopefully realize that by now, and you need to adapt. And if you use a couple, you don't have to use them all, right? If you use a couple of the methods that I'm going to talk about today and the second and third episodes, you can get more leads, right? You can keep your business going during this shift. This is not '08, it's not '09, by the way. We're not seeing huge corrections in prices, but we are seeing less transactions, 20, 25, 30% less transactions in some markets. There's more agents than there's ever been since I think 2007 or 8. So you basically have more agents fighting for fewer deals, and quite frankly, a lot of real estate agents had it easy the last 2 or 3 years, right? The deals were coming easy. So there's some people that's the only market they've ever seen, right? So now they're scrambling, and really what is a return to a normal balanced market, normal inventory levels. So you just have to get back to the basics, right? And that's what a lot of these methods are. So the stats are not something to just brush off, though, right? According to NAR, National Association of Realtors, only 8% of agents sold 4 or more homes in the first 6 months of the year of 2022. So that's certainly not, you don't want to be in that 92%, right? You want to figure out, how do I get to the top 5%, 1%, right? How do you get to that level? Because those agents are still going to do fine. And if you can avoid, getting out of the business, if you can stay in this for the long haul, these market shifts, these pullbacks are going to be a time where you will gain market share just by staying in the game, all right? So a lot of what I'm going to talk about is, of course, like the title said, how to generate more leads, but I want to point out 3 things before I get into that, all right? Number 1, know your numbers, all right? Take a hard, honest look at the marketing you're doing right now and really double down on the things that are working. Double down on the things that are generating you business that cost the least amount of money. Find those things that really are working, and don't keep marketing programs going. Don't keep lead gen programs going if they're not bringing in results, right? A lot of agents kind of run their business, I think, out of ego or vanity rather than logic and profit, right? You want to be in that logic and profit camp. So know your numbers, cut out the waste, and stay positive, right? Don't read the newspapers. Don't look at the headlines. Don't listen to people bitch on social media, right? Stay positive, and you can win this game. All right. So the number 1 way that I think you should be doing or looking at right now to get more leads during this market shift is looking at expireds, withdrawals, and FSBOs. There are some agents who, in the last decade, built their entire business on this, right? I've seen new agents sell $20 million in their first year just by getting an auto dialer, RedX, Mojo, Vulcan, all that kind of stuff, right? They spend a couple hours on the phone each day, calling expireds, withdrawals, FSBOs. Maybe they mix in circle prospecting, right? So you can build a business quickly. And I think in the last couple of years, a lot of people got away from that, right? They they didn't have to call expireds and withdrawals, or maybe there weren't as many. Well, right now they are back. Like I just was talking to a team in Florida today about the opportunity there, and I had another guy on that call, Tim Harris, who pointed out that in San Francisco area there were like 5,000 expireds and withdrawals in the last 6 months. So it got me thinking, like, what is it doing in my market, right? In the DC market. Well, in DC alone, so I'm not talking about the surrounding like Maryland, Virginia counties, but DC alone, the last 180 days, there's been nearly 3,000 expireds and withdrawals. Now, guaranteed, some of those went back on the market, right? Or probably several hundred of them, or maybe even 1,000. So you may not think that there's a ton of expireds and withdrawals, but they are there, and they're only going to increase in numbers in the next 12 to 24 months. So get good at expireds and withdrawals. Like, dedicate an hour a day to calling the ones that just went expired, just were withdrawn like the day before, but also search back 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years even, right? Call those up. We had an episode we released a couple weeks ago, I think, with Tarek Al Musa, right? Everyone knows him from the Flip or Flop HGTV. He said he thinks expireds and withdrawals are going to be a gold mine in the next year or two. So, get back on those expired and withdrawing calls. It's a simple script. And by the way, we have scripts at hyperfastacademy.com, or you can contact us, our HyperFast Agent team, if you want more scripts on this. Or there's plenty out there, right? It's a very, very simple script. Probably takes you 5 to 10 minutes, really master, and then get on the phone. Maybe that first day you spend an hour or two and you don't book any. Well, that's okay. Stick with it, right? It may take a week or 2 weeks to get your first listing, but I found once people get in the mode, the rhythm, and they're doing this every day, they can basically book a listing appointment for every hour that they spend dialing, right? And by the way, it doesn't cost you anything. This isn't like buying Zillow leads or running Facebook ads. Like, these are leads that don't cost you anything, right? So these are a great one to master right now. The second way that I think you should be looking to generate more leads during this market shift is repeat and referrals, all right? Why repeat and referrals? Well, these are the cheapest and easiest leads you have, right? They're already people you've done business with, or people that might buy or sell with you again, people that might refer you business. So this is going to be, warm business. You're not going to have to spend a lot of money on it. You can, do a monthly happy hour, or maybe a bigger quarterly event. You can typically get sponsors for those events, lender and title partners. So you can pretty much run this lead generation source, with no money, right? If you do some events, you get sponsors. It doesn't take a lot, right? In addition to those events, do video text. I love doing the video text to past clients. You shoot a quick 30-second, 60-second video, reach back out to them that way. A weekly email, I think, to your database. I know a lot of people say monthly. I like weekly, right? As long as you're slightly creative and can put some genuine original content, that's good. Again, that doesn't take you more than 30 minutes to do. And then phone calls, right? Do a monthly or quarterly phone call, check in with them. And don't forget to ask them for referrals, all right? A lot of people, I think, for some reason feel uncomfortable asking for referrals, and you don't want to lead with that, of course. You don't want to call someone up that you haven't seen or talked to in a while, but after you ask them those basic questions, about their family, their occupation, their dreams, that kind of stuff, ask them if they have any real estate needs or know anyone that does. Put that in the footer of your emails. Mention that on your client events, the invites, right? Ask them for referrals. All right, the third way that I think you should be looking at generating more leads during this market shift is corporate relocations. All right. I know there's a lot less move-up buyers right now, because if you're in if you're in a $500,000 home at a 3% interest rate, maybe you'll do a rehab or an addition right before you go out and sell that home that's at a 3% interest rate, buy one that's $300,000 more, and jump up to 6 or 6.5 on your interest rate, right? There's less of that. Well, people still have to buy and sell because of getting a different job, right? So corporate relocations. There's a couple ways to approach this. I think the best way is to go to local companies and try to set up your own accounts. Our team did this in the past with hospitals, right? Go to hospitals. What did we do with hospitals? Well, we would go to the HR people. And how do we meet them, by the way? By asking clients that we had that were doctors to introduce us, right? Go to the HR people, tell them we'll be a part of the recruiting process. When you bring in new doctors, our team will volunteer to take them around town, show them houses, show them the cool things in the area, talk about the schools, and we're a part of the recruiting process at that point, right? We are selling them on the area, because if they're looking to be a doctor in the DC area, they might also be looking in Florida or Texas or Pennsylvania or wherever, right? So we're also helping them solve a problem. So go to local corporations and see if you can be a part of the solution, right? If you can help them with recruiting. A lot of people work at companies that, brokerages that may have corporate relo accounts. That's an option too. They charge a hefty referral fee, of course. It's usually 35, 40%. But if you're not paying for that lead and you're getting it through your company, that's great. By the way, you may not know this, but at eXp Realty, they have a great corporate relocation program. If you are, not at eXp and want to learn about the benefits of joining me at eXp and getting plugged into my coaching and all of the different trainings that we give you, as a member of our team at eXp, let me know and I can get you plugged in with Relocation as well. Best thing to do is just text me at 703-638-4393 and I can talk to you more about the benefits of my group at eXp and relocation leads. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Make sure you stick around or hit the subscribe button or save it on YouTube, all that good stuff, because we've got 2 more parts in this series where we're going to be going over 6 more different ways to generate leads during a market shift. I'll see you next time.